Hey guys, excuse the face, I just woke up. But I wanted to talk about Uranus, one of my favorite planets, and the strongest one also, and we'll see why. Uranus is the big boss, okay? It's the daddy of them all. From an astronomy perspective, let's take a look at that first. So from an astronomy perspective, Uranus is the third um, biggest planet in the solar system by dimension, and it's the coldest one. Okay, the temperature goes something like minus 224 degrees or something like that. So it's really cold, and as I always say, it's as cold as the hearts of our ex-lovers. Okay, so really cold there. In mythology, okay, Uranus was Saturn's daddy, okay, and the grandfather of Jupiter, Zeus, okay. He was a primordial god, born out of chaos, and he was actually the big boss when ruling the sky, okay. It's like his grandson Zeus was just, taking care of the business. Zeus was the image of the company, if you will, but it was still Uranus making all the big important decisions. Okay, similar to what happens in the movies, the dramas of rich people, rich kids. What can you do about it? So when Uranus was young, he married Gaia, Mother Earth. She was actually basically his sister. Now the thing is, there weren't a lot of options back then, so you can't really, you can't really blame them. They had a lot of kids together. The Titans, Saturn was one of them. Those turned out fine, but they also had some others, just Cyclops, if that's how you pronounce it, and some other monsters. I don't know the name. I can pronounce it in English. Okay. So anyway, they had some issues, the other one. So I guess that happens when there's an incest, right? I mean, the kids turn out with some issues, let's say. The problem is when Uranus saw how ugly his kids were, because the other ones had like 100, hands and 50 heads each, and so they were kind of ugly. So what he basically did, he took them and put them into Tartarus, which was basically in hell, right? But it was really inside Gaia, right? Now Gaia was really mad about this, and she wasn't really feeling right because, she still had inside of her all these monsters. Okay. And so she asked her son, Saturn, who was the youngest one, but he was the strongest one also, okay, to help her somehow get rid of her husband, because Uranus was always horny, and anyway, she didn't want any more kids, because what if the new kids would turn out with issues as well? What's gonna happen then? It was painful for her. So anyway, what happened was that Saturn castrated his father, and Uranus was really pissed off about this, and that's when he put a curse on Saturn, and said something like, may your power be taken away from you by one of your sons. Okay. Anyway, so guys, this is the original daddy issue. Okay, this is all our daddy issues come from. Anyway, so the thing is, like father, like son, Saturn also turned out to be a tyrant, and his power is taken away from him by Zeus. Okay, it was a family curse, and when your father curses you, it turns out really ugly. So that's the type of family where, we were coming from, okay? That's how toxic it was. So how can we just, get along with our families now? Imagine that. We can't. because of what happened with the ancestors, okay, with the gods. Anyway, so in astrology, Uranus is the planet of everything new. It's the planet of freedom. It's the planet of a lot of changes, of the unpredictable, okay? Because basically that's how, Uranus was surprising Gaia whenever he wanted to have sex, okay? Whenever he wanted to taste some freedom, have an orgasm, okay? You understand it, to release some of the hormones. Anyway, so he also got rid, and so he got some freedom when he put his kids into Tartarus. So that's why Aquarius people are really the masters, the gaslighting masters, okay? And they have commitment issues sometimes. Uranus, it's the boss of Aquarius people. So that's if it's something that it's not clear if I didn't say that already. So similar to this, just the way Uranus, it's older and it's cooler than his grandson Jupiter, okay? That's how Aquarius people can actually be a little bit more arrogant compared to the Leo people. You wouldn't say that, but if you look at them and you see about how they see things and how they talk, if you take a closer look at them, you'll see that they're arrogant, more arrogant than Leos. You're gonna sense their superiority in their voice sooner or later. It's gonna happen, I promise you that. So the point is, when you're looking in your natal chart, the area in which you have Uranus in your natal chart is the area where you cannot settle, basically. Okay, so if you have Uranus in the area that deals with your career, you're gonna change a lot of jobs. If you have Uranus in the area that deals with love, you might change a lot of boyfriends, girlfriends, and stuff like that. When we have Uranus in transit, okay, so when it's on the sky right now, you don't really know what to expect from him, which makes it even more interesting in my opinion, okay? When Uranus is in a good mood, can bring you, the love of your life when you lost all hope, okay? When Uranus, it's not in the mood, can bring a divorce your way without you understanding what's happening when your hopes were getting too high, okay? When he's in the good mood, you can win the lottery. When he's in the bad mood, you're gonna lose all the money, okay? That's the thing with Uranus. So comparing Uranus, because that's why I'm saying he's the strongest one. Let's take a look at other planets in our solar system, right? Pluto, my love Pluto. When you take a look at him, you'll see he works in years, okay? So you have Pluto in transit, let's say, and it's gonna force you to change the way you view relationships. But how Pluto is going to do that, he's going to torment you for years. You're going to have many thoughts, many experiences that will slowly kill you until you understand that you need to change who you are completely and change the way you view those relationships. It's going to take years for that to happen. It's going to be a long and painful process. It is the strongest one, in the end, because it actually feels like a new person. You're gonna feel like a new person in whatever area Pluto just took care of, okay? They don't call it the planet of rebirth for nothing. You're gonna feel like you're a new person that has nothing to do with the old version of you. But it takes a lot of time. Saturn, it's similar. It takes less time. It takes like 2.5 years for Saturn to, again, make the necessary changes in some areas of your life. For example, you have Saturn in transit in the seventh house in in transit. Then you're gonna have to look at your relationships and decide, okay, is this something that is good enough for me? You're going to have to make a decision, change your behavior. Okay, you want more responsibility. It's something like you're going to take your partner and talk to them and say something like, you're going to marry me, or we're done here. You get more responsible with that, but Uranus, that's what happens with Uranus, because it's Uranus goes there and says something like, hey kiddo, what are you doing here? You still didn't learn the lesson. Are you still doing all this shit? You're gonna have to change that, and quickly. Okay, Uranus doesn't have patience, doesn't have time to waste. You're gonna have to change it. He'll make sure you change it, and fast. Okay, let's say you're trying to get into the pool and swim. Okay, Saturn will force you to think about how much water it's in the pool. Can you swim? Do I know how to swim? Where's the safe zone in case something happens? Do I have something to hold on to in case the water is too deep? Shit like that. Uranus comes and just pushes you into the pool, and he doesn't care if you know how to swim or not. It's basically something like, you're either swimming or you'll die, and that's it, and I don't care, but just do it already, okay? So again, Uranus doesn't have time for you to think about it a million times. You're just gonna have to change it. So let's say if in love, in your marriage, you didn't do the necessary changes and you were thinking about divorcing your partner, but for some reason you couldn't, and you were kept thinking about it for years, but not actually leaving that toxic relationship. When Uranus comes in, you're not going to be able to postpone that anymore. That's why I like Uranus. It's going to happen. Whatever you wanted to do and you were staying there frustrated thinking about, is it a good thing, is it a bad thing, Uranus just forces you to take action. Which is why it can be really helpful with manifestation. When you have Uranus says help, you can manifest easily if you know how to work with him. Okay, because it's gonna force you to take some action, not just think about it, because that's how you bring it into reality. So that's kind of the thing. I do like Uranus. I think he's really straightforward, very determined. It's gonna liberate you, okay? Maybe it's gonna be painful at first, you're gonna get dizzy, you don't know what hit you, okay? But the thing with Uranus is that you're not gonna stay there frustrated. You don't like your job, but you keep it for years until you get sick and Pluto forces you to change it in the end. No, Uranus just comes there and says something like, listen, this is not okay. You're not on the right track. Let me just push you out of it. Something will happen into the workplace and you're going to go, so at least you don't accumulate a lot of frustration with Uranus. Okay. He forces you to spit it out and just move forward. Okay. It's not as painful as Pluto. It's a different type of pain. With this one, it takes a while for you to understand what happened. With Pluto, you'll get plenty of time to understand, too much time to understand what happened, Uranus, even if it kills you, at least it's fast, it's like a car accident and you just go, you just go, compared to a Saturn and Pluto. Those are like a disease that kills you slowly, isn't it easier in a way to die fast? It depends how you look at it, but the way I see it, it is a little bit better. So Uranus right now, it's in Taurus. Okay. Uranus entered Taurus in 2018. Okay, and it's gonna stay here for 3 more years, so until 2026. Okay. Generally speaking, this is a good transit, a good moment for Taurus people, for Cancer, for Pisces, and Virgo, and Capricorn people. So for you guys, this is good for you guys because it's gonna help you. Okay, it's gonna create good opportunities for you. And then Uranus is going to put you on the right track, okay? It could be a bit annoying for Leo people, Aquarius, or Scorpio, because for you guys, it can seem like a bit, he gets you out of your comfort zone, and that's never easy, okay? From a collective perspective, what can we expect when the planet of when the most unpredictable planet, okay, of everything new is in one of the most predictable and fixed and signs, which is Taurus. We can expect a lot of resistance when it comes to change, but still many changes, okay? Especially in the financial structures, let's say. Let's not forget that Taurus, it is at the end of the day the zodiac sign that it's ruling money, material stuff. We had inflation. We had the issue with the Bitcoin, right? Taurus is also the zodiac sign that rules the land, okay? And the love for land. We have, unfortunately, we still have a war in Ukraine. That's Uranus. We had earthquakes. That's how you pronounce it. I never know how to pronounce that. We had those, and I think we might still have other ones even worse than what we already had. Because, why have it simple when it could be complicated? Okay. Before it gets better, it's going to get worse. That's the thing with Uranus and Taurus. Uranus also helps us with our attachment to, our unhealthy attachment to money, okay, in a way. Because the thing is, when you look around the world, it's getting more and more superficial. We're trying to impress other people. We try to look more rich than we really are in reality, more interesting than we really are on social media. Where they're showing people how much money we have and shit. So Uranus comes in and says something like, yeah, no, don't do that anymore. So it's in a sense, it's bringing us back to reality. That's why I'm saying we can lose a lot of money, but it's for our own good in a way, so we can see what actually matters in life, because when it's all good and dandy, you don't learn anything. So Uranus helps us. Maybe painful for some of us, but it's still a good thing. Because the thing is, when you lose everything, you'll realize how little you actually need. So Uranus does that for us. I love this zodiac sign. Yes, I love Aquarius energy. I love Uranus energy. By the way, a tip, don't make fun of his name, because he's going to take revenge of you. So don't make fun of him. But let me know in the comments what's your opinion on Aquarius, on this planet's energy. What happened for you when you had Uranus in transit in your life? Where is it right now for you, and what type of changes you see there? But yeah, let me know in the comments. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.